I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Petrik here. As we are nearing the end of April, today's video will be about all the books that I want to read next month, in the month of May. And I'm telling you, the month of May might be an ambitious and indecisive reading month for me because I just have so many books that I want to read next month. So in today's video, I will be including 9 books that I want to read next month, but I'm not making any promises that I will actually read them all. Because as I said, this is an ambitious reading month, and also I'm feeling a bit indecisive regarding which books I'm going to be reading. But I'm quite confident I will be reading about 6 or 7 of these books. So yeah, I will just start immediately. And also, just as a reminder, there will be a read-along announcement and I'll be talking about it soon. And the first and second book that I want to read in the month of May will be Mother of Learning Volume 3 and Volume 4 by Domagoj Kurmaic. I think that's really the correct way to pronounce the name. So thank you to those of you who reminded me how to pronounce his name correctly. But anyway, I really enjoyed reading this series. The first and the second volume, I gave both of them the same ratings, a 4.5 out of 5 stars rating. It's just so much fun to read. Actually, the second book almost topped the first book for me, with a few caveats that I'll be talking about in my monthly wrap-up next week. But it doesn't change the fact that my opinion on this book is that this is an incredible series. The first and the second volume is just so fun, engaging, and also I am so excited to read the third and the fourth volume. I mean, if the third and the fourth volume, which is the final volume of the entire series, prove to be better than the first half of Mother of Learning, then I will feel safe in including this series into my list of favorite series. I am just so impressed with Nobody 103 or Domagoj Kurmaic. What he crafted in this series provided me a refreshing and engaging reading experience. It's just so much fun to be in the world of Kyoria's Magical Academy. I always crave a satisfying time loop fantasy series, and I hope this will be one of them, and so far it is. So Mother of Learning is also one of my top priority series that I want to start and finish this year, so hopefully I will be able to get it done in the month of May. And after that, I plan to read the book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This is the first book in his newest trilogy. The title of the series is The Library Trilogy. I am so excited about this one. I mean, just take a look at this beautiful cover art done by Tom Roberts. I've read almost everything by Mark Lawrence. Surprisingly, I've read almost everything by him except the Impossible Times trilogy and also the second and the third book in the Book of the Ice trilogy. Other than that, I've read all of them. And although there were some that didn't really click with me, like the Broken Empire trilogy, but it cannot be denied that there were some books by him that, well, become some of my favorite books, like Book of the Ancestor trilogy, Red Sister and also Holy Sister, which is the first and the third book in the Book of the Ancestor, are some of my favorite books. I love that trilogy so much, and I'm hoping that the book That Wouldn't Burn will be in my list of favorite books as well. From the premise and everything that I heard about it, it seems like it has a good chance of it becoming one of my favorites. And right now, actually, I already have a pre-order going on for the book That Wouldn't Burn from Blackwell's because, well, Book Depository has closed down. So I'm really sad about that. I'm really bummed about that. But it might take 6 months before the physical copy for the book That Wouldn't Burn arrived to my place. So I will be reading this from my Kindle, from the e-arc that I got from Harper Voyager for months now. I'll be reading it and hopefully I will end up loving this. Pretty excited about this one, and I think I might end up creating a book review for the book That Wouldn't Burn on my YouTube channel as well. Once I'm done with that, the next book that I'm going to read, there will be a read-along for the first time on my YouTube channel for this book and this trilogy. And it is the first book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, The Dragonborn Chair by Ted Williams. Yes, it is finally time for me to start reading this trilogy. It has been a long time coming. I've wanted to read this series for many years now, probably since 2018. And I think this is finally the right time for me to be reading this series. And the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy has been, well, it has been mentioned and praised by many authors such as George R. Martin and also Patrick Rothfuss to be the series that inspired their magnum opus of A Song of Ice and Fire and also the King Killer Chronicle. I am pretty excited to be reading this one, and also I will be doing this read-along with Alex from Tall Guy Reads. So right now, the plan is for us to read the Dragonborn Chair in the month of May. And at the end of the month, we will be doing a live read-along. So we will be doing a live chat, probably for the Dragonborn Chair. It will be on my YouTube channel, and after that, The Stone of Farewell, the second book, will be done on his channel, on Alex's channel. That will happen at the end of the month of June. And then at the end of July, probably we will go back to my channel to be talking about Two Green Angel Tower. So one book per month, and then we will see whether we will be doing the second series in, well, the Austen Art Saga 2 or not. The Austen Art Saga consists of 4 books though, so that will take place from the month of August until the month of November. So yeah, almost an entire year. But first, let's get the first trilogy done first, and that's Memory, Sorrow and Thorn trilogy. And yeah, I look forward to reading this for the first time. And yeah, this is the Grim Oak Press edition. It is absolutely stunning, and I hope this will be a worthy investment for me. If you want to join the read-along, feel free to read the book in the month of May, and then we will be talking about them at the end of the month of May in a live chat. And yeah, I look forward to discussing this book with all of you. And once I'm done with the Dragonborn Chair, the next book that I will be reading in the month of May will be my Patreon's pick for the book of the month, and it is Nolyn by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the first book in the Rise and Fall trilogy. So this is also, just like the Austen Art Saga and also Mother of Learning, this is one of my priority series to read this year. I've read all the Rhyria books, I've read Legends of the First Empire last year, and this year, it will be the year of me reading through the Rise and Fall trilogy. The first book is Nolyn, the second book is Fairy Lane, and then the third and final book, which is slated to be released this year, is Ezra Haddon. I'll be reading the entire trilogy this year, and I will start from Nolyn next month. This has been chosen by my Patreon to be my pick for my book of the month. For those of you who don't know about Nolyn and the Rise and Fall trilogy, this book takes place between the Legends of the First Empire and also the Rhyria Chronicles. So it's kind of like a bridge series, but Michael J. Sullivan has mentioned that this should work to those of you who want to try reading Michael J. Sullivan's books for the first time, but I do not think that will be possible. I mean, the Easter eggs are some of the greatest things about Michael J. Sullivan's books, and I am so excited to be reading this one sooner than I thought, thanks to my Patreon. I do not expect this will be better than the Rhyria books because the Rhyria books are just so precious to me, but I hope this one will be better than the Legends of the First Empire, which I highly enjoyed as well. Also, this is a bit random, but this cover art is done by Mark Simonetti, right? And I am kind of sad that the design doesn't allow the full wraparound cover art of his artwork, because that would be awesome. Just like the Legends of the First Empire, which all of them, all the 6 books in the series, features Mark Simonetti's cover art in full wraparound, and I love that. It is kind of unfortunate that it didn't happen in the Rise and Fall trilogy. So yeah, there's that. And speaking of wraparound cover art, the next book that I want to read next month is actually the book that won the second place in my Patreon's pick for book of the month, and it is Ruination by Anthony Reynolds. So this one, I'm using the irreversible dust jacket, and it is so beautiful, right? Take a look at this. This is a superior cover art, in my opinion, compared to the standard cover art. And I'm really glad that Orbit sent this book to me. It took many months. It took many months before this book finally arrived to my place, but better late than never. I am a huge fan of the Arcane TV show, and this is, I think, the first or the second League of Legends novel, and I hope it will be as good as Arcane. Or at the very least, I hope that I will have a great time with this one. I really love the world that is built in the TV show of Arcane, and I think this is actually a prequel to it. And yeah, this is a full wraparound cover art done by Valentina Remenar. It is beautiful. So beautiful. I cannot get enough of this cover art. I hope the book will be as good as this cover art. And then, of course, the next book that I want to read is a continuation to my reread of this series, of the Red Rising Saga series by Pierce Brown. And I have arrived at the 4th book, Iron Gold. This is the first book in the second series of Red Rising Saga. It takes place after Morning Star, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a decade after the end of Morning Star. So many fans of the series consider Iron Gold to be the weakest book in the entire series, and it is my unpopular opinion that it is, in my opinion, the second best book in the entire series, just after Golden Sun. It's even better than Dark Age, at least on my first read anyway. And I'm so excited. I'm very excited to be rereading Iron Gold again. I think as a start to a new series, to a new chapter in the Red Rising saga, this was such a great choice by Pierce Brown. Especially the multiple first-person POV narration. They were so incredibly well done. And yeah, this is the UK hardcover. Take a look at this, and I really love the back cover. Take a look at this. I think this one, the back cover is actually better than the US hardcover. But anyway, I am a huge fan of Red Rising Saga. I think many of you know about that, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about this second read of Iron Gold. We are getting nearer to the release date of Lightbringer in the month of July, and I will be doing a second read of Dark Age in the month of June in preparation for Lightbringer. Unless, of course, I get an advanced reading copy of Lightbringer, then everything, all my TBR plan will change in order to focus on that. And then assuming there are still some time for me to read in the month of May, there are still 2 books that I want to attempt reading next month. And the first one is Ascendant by Michael R. Miller. This is the first book in the Songs of Chaos series, and with the upcoming release of the third book, Defiant, I think this is Defiant I think is slated to be released in the month of July. I want to get around to reading this series. I heard this is another incredible Dragon Rider epic fantasy, and now that I'm caught up, I have finished reading the Echo Saga by Philip Quantrill. I have caught up to Ryan Cahill's Bound and the Broken series, and this will be my next Dragon Rider epic fantasy. But from what I've heard, there is a bit of a difference with Songs of Chaos. This is not your standard classic epic fantasy. This is done in a progression epic fantasy style, and I don't know how I will feel about this. I pretty much heard nothing but great things about this series though, so yeah, hopefully I will end up loving this as much as the Bound and the Broken series, or maybe even more. The author, Michael R. Miller, did pitch this book to me saying that if I love Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer, then I think there's a good chance I will end up loving this one. And yeah, I did love Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer very much. And finally, as I said, this is an ambitious and also indecisive reading month because I just cannot fully decide which books that I will be reading first. I also want to read The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is another new release that I heard so many great things about, and I haven't read anything by Shannon Chakraborty yet. I know that her Devabad trilogy is so highly praised, mostly highly praised, especially the second book, and then also the third book, Kingdom of Copper and also Empire of Gold. But because The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi has been calling to me lately, I think I might as well start from this one. Plus, I heard that there is only a cameo appearance from one of the characters, I think, one of the characters in the Devabad trilogy appearing in The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. And based on what I've heard, this one should be safe to read without reading the Devabad trilogy first. And right now, the physical book is actually on the way to me right now. It is one of the last books that I bought from Book Depository, and hopefully it will arrive really soon. I bought the US edition, of course, because the cover art by Ivan Belikov for the US cover art, the US edition, is so much better than the UK edition, even though the UK edition actually looks pretty good too. But I tend to prefer illustration over minimalistic cover art, and this one is another example of a beautiful illustration done right. So beautiful. So that's it. That's all the books that I want to read in the month of May. And for a manga series, the only manga series that I want to read is actually to continue reading Vagabond by Takehiko Inoue. I'm right now in volume 28. I didn't get a chance to actually read any Vagabond volume this month, and I will definitely fix that next month. Time to finish another reread of Vagabond by Takehiko Inoue. Other than that, that's it. That's all the books and manga series that I want to read in the month of May. Do let me know what you think about my TBR pile next month, and also let me know what books you're planning to read next month. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.